Hey gang, how you doing? Jonathan here for Tailhunter Sportfishing, and it's time once again for the Mexican Minute La Paz video fishing report, coming to you from La Paz, Baja, Mexico, and covering all of the fishing action for our Tailhunter Sportfishing fleet for the dates of April 11th through the 18th, 2024. Wherever you are, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for checking in, and if you like what we're doing, please do us a big favor. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay, let's jump right into it. A lot of changes since last week. You know, last week and the week before were kind of so-so. The winds came back up. We had to cancel some trips for snorkeling and fishing. That's just the way it is right now. Things are very erratic, but what a difference a week makes, because this last week we had some very, very favorable conditions. The wind settled down somewhat, still a little breezy here and there, a little cloud cover in the mornings, but then broke up to some really nice conditions. And like I said, what a difference in the fishing. A number of great species. You know, some weeks it's Dorado, then another week it's Pompano, and then everything changes. But that's the way it is right now. This is why we call it the transition time. It's not really cold water fishing. The cold water fish are still here, but they're kind of moving out. But the warm water fish are also starting to move in. Not full speed, but they're here. Like last week, we had a number of nice Dorado caught. This week, not much of any Dorado, but the cold water fish took over the spotlight. And it's going to be like that for the next couple of weeks as things settle in. The winds will diminish this coming week. The winds look like they're going to be very, very favorable, not blowing crazy from the north, but they're going to be coming from the south, so it might still be a little bumpy out there, but it does at least provide us some opportunities to get to some of the fishing spots that, well, we normally can't get to when the winds are blowing from the north. But the result this week, well, let me tell you something. Not only did the water settle down and get warmer and the winds diminish, but the bait situation, I got to tell you, right outside the window here, I'm facing La Paz Bay. Yesterday and today, the pelicans are diving like crazy. Within 5 or 10 feet of the shoreline, there are so many sardines there. The pelicans, the seagulls, there are fish breaking. There is so much bait in the water, and it's like that kind of up and down the coast. A lot of the bait spots that where we usually get the sardines and stuff, well, they're full of bait right now. Over at Muertos Bay, near Las Arenas, where we launch our boats, I'm told that there is so much bait there. There are black ribbons. If you're standing up on the hill, you can see black ribbons of nothing but sardines. And that's bringing the fish right in close. You know, a lot of times folks ask us, especially at the shows, you know, listen, I want big fish, or how far do we really have to go out? And I'll tell you, that's one of the nice things about fishing out here. You don't have to go far. I mean, you know, my last marlin was in 20 feet of water. We've caught tuna in 20, 30 feet of water, 100-pound rooster fish in 5 or 10 feet of water. And especially when the bait comes up close to shore, comes up from the deep, the big fish are going to follow the food source. It's like a kid chasing French fries or something. And right now, the schools of Pargo over around Cerralvo Island and around Muertos Bay, Punta Perico, Punta Las Arenas, those big Pargo have started to show up in schools as they spawn during this time of the year. And some of these fish, I mean, you know, you get a 5 or 10 pounder and it will yank your arms out of the sockets. You hook onto something even bigger than that, and I've seen guys literally jack-poled out of their seats because they're like a big undulating school of giant Japanese koi in a Japanese koi pond. And we caught the world record, 46 pounds, about 2 years ago, right in the same area. And the day before that, we got one that was 10 pounds larger than that, that would have shattered the world record. But unfortunately, by the time I got the photo and said, get that over here to us, they'd already cut up the fish. And that's happened so many times. But we do have the world record for a 46-pound Pargo liso, and that's what's schooling in right now. On top of that, roosterfish also biting. Not the big boys, not the big hogs that we tend to get in May and June, but some nice fun 10, 20-pound fish are biting around the island and along the beach areas where they normally are. And as well, no Dorado this week for some strange reason, after getting some and thinking that the Dorado season is finally starting. But we caught some tuna 100 yards off the beach, some nice 30, 40, 50-pound tuna. There's also some yellowtail. The yellowtail have really started biting. And we got a great bite going on north of town. If you head straight out of La Paz Bay, head towards the island, Espiritu Santo, as well as El Bajo, We had our good buddy, and lots of you know him, Jorge, was out there with Captain Boley the other day, and they told me that they got mackerel in just a few minutes under the big tankers that are sitting here anchored up in La Paz Bay. There's a ton of mackerel there. They used the sabikis, got about 50 mackerel, headed out to El Bajo. In an hour, they got limits, 10 yellowtail running 15 to about 25 pounds. Lost a couple others, got some big pargo as well, wrapped it up in an hour, came back, made it back in time for lunch, gave the rest of their bait away to other boats that were out there. But the yellowtail bite has been very, very good the last couple of days, and I have no reason to believe that for the next few days after this report, the yellowtail are going to continue to bite, at least until the weather changes. So fingers are crossed. I'm looking at the weather this coming week, and it looks like the winds are going to be pretty favorable, coming from the south, not blowing really, really hard. Enough for us to get out fishing. The bait situation looks good. Temperatures right now, what a temperature change. There's about a 30-degree temperature change between daytime and nighttime. Nighttime temperatures are in the high 50s, low 60s. Daytime temperatures, well, yesterday was 93 degrees here. Beautiful time to be out here. The humidity hasn't come in. Waters are starting to warm up. Our season is on. This is the week when we start getting a lot of folks coming in as things change, things start settling down, and the fish start biting. So looking forward to having you down. Thank you for checking in. Check out the fishing gallery coming up right after I tune off here, so don't tune me out just yet. Check out the fishing gallery. We'll get back to you next week with another report. Hopefully things are even better. I'm Jonathan of the Mexican Minute. God bless. You take care. We'll catch you next week.